Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Okay, let's start with the short of the day. I might do two shorts, but not in the beginning because I've seen two that I liked. But gonna do this quick one right here. Thought it was funny, thought the chicken it was cute, so let's do that.
What we got in here is an I-9.
I love when he talks nerdy to me. Baby, I don't understand a word you're saying. Not you trying to teach me something. Go off, King. I don't care about no ram stick. I'm trying to see if you can ram me. Huh? Yeah, wow, that's so cool.
Okay, yeah. As I was saying, you want to use your first and third slot for your RAM sticks. You don't want to put. All right, what we got in here is an I-9.
Okay, so there you have it. A cutie that's into nerds is a real thing. I know people have their stereotypes, but it is a real thing. Just want to share a quick short. So let me stop the share there. And I had a lot of problems with this video, so it might not get the traction that it should because what happened? So I might have to break it down into shorts, or excuse me, into pre-records, because yesterday something was wrong with StreamYards and like 6 videos of the same one came up at the same time, and when something like that happens, it messes with it messes with YouTube. The algorithm don't want to push it because it's going to be like, okay, or what, are you going to push 7, 8, or 9 of these? So I doubt that this gets much traction. So make sure you hit that like button. Now, sheraseven, she's doing this whole sprinkle movement, which is really just a form of gold digging disguised as misandry, disguised as, let's just call it destitution with a P. It is all of those things. Now, people are saying, why is that a bad thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's really not a bad thing, especially if that's something that you do, something that you're into. But what some women, particularly B-Dub, has taken to doing is a disrespect at a client. And this isn't something that's new. This is something that I've always noticed amongst the B-Dub. Like, they would become destitute or 304 or some variation of this, but still maintain this. Not only do they maintain a disrespect of the clients, and this is just people that's buying their service. I don't know why there's such I'm better than you and you're nothing type thing going on, but they make it a point to want to make the client feel less than. I do find that fascinating. I can't front. I find that extremely interesting that somebody's buying a service from you, whether it's directly or indirectly, and you want them to regret doing that as much as possible. Maybe that's why other sugar babies get paid a lot more than you. It's that thinking. So that thinking is brought into the space of this sprinkle movement. Because let's be clear, this is whitewash 304ism. And I'm going to prove that in a moment. This is whitewash 304ism, and quite frankly, they don't hide the disrespect that they have for the client, for one. But here, let me play the video. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hit that like button, please. All right.
You need to know about the sprinkle light. Why does Shira say sprinkle? I got you. Hello, beautiful.
Okay, so So something is wrong here. It's buffering or something bad. So let me see if I can change that. Give me a moment. Yeah, I hate it when YouTube does this, but or maybe a StreamYard, who knows? All right. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, so to give the buffer time to catch up, let's just do a physical examination of this woman. This woman looks like many Black women. I mean, they're all, because they have similar styles and similar eating habits, hence body types, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They all start to really not look that much different from each other. You know, you have the eyelashes, you have the wig or weave. I think this one in particular has the lace front as a result of an extended period of time of wearing cheap lace fronts. Her hairline has been extended. It's going back. It's going backer and backer and backer that she's attempting to cover with the bang. She has the glasses. Now the glasses may look like they're just a general accessory, but really what they're primarily used for is to hold the wig and or weave in place. That's what it's used for. What makes her a little bit different is that she has this nose ring here, but that's not something spectacular. Looks overweight, but there is really attempting to hide it by having the camera show from the tits up. And this particular one seems like she has some sort of eczema or something going on. Now, this isn't to say that she's a bad looking woman on an average scale, you know, something that if you've seen at Kroger's, you know, you might look at again or something like that. I can't even see her entire body. So, which is a large portion of a woman's physical value. But to sell it at a high price commodity, really, it's like, really? Really? So they are trying to market goods that don't market themselves. Recently, I did a video about people people in Dubai, these guys in Dubai who gets these Instagram models and they pay them hundreds of thousands of pounds or euros. I think it was euros. They're paying them hundreds of thousands of euros to, you know, get down on the camel, you know, basically humping camels, you know, or you know, taking the salmon. Yeah, exactly. So but those seem to have been the top of the top. Like, what are you? What are you? Oh, okay. Anyway, it's kind of like taking a regular Civic and trying to drive Uber Black. That's what it's like. Hit the like button.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, more abundance to blessings, more money. There's just so many things that it means. So you're gonna have to ask for yourself. It can mean all of the above and more. The sprinkle sprinkle life is not for everyone. And if it's not for you, I think you'll know because you'll feel very uncomfortable. So I would say don't force it. If you could sit at a restaurant with an old man who's like triple your age and not care about what people around you think, not care about them looking at you, if you can't do that, it's not for you. And it's not by force. You don't gotta force it. You don't gotta force it, honey. Trust me. I personally can easily sit at a dinner table with a 72-year-old man and gladly collect that envelope at the end of the date because especially a Caucasian one. Yeah, I get a lot of looks here in Toronto. And
well, there you have it. There you have it. The proof of what I'm saying. If you can't take, because that is pay for play. Sitting across from a 76-year-old man as, and I'm assuming because she said 3 times her age that she's around 25, as a 25-year-old woman and taking a envelope at the end of it is payment. You are being paid. You are a actual 304. That's what this lifestyle is about. Now, later, I'm going to get into how this benefits Black men. But that's what this lifestyle is about. This is not, some I'm looking for a provider or some hypergamy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No, this is pay for play lifestyle. If you cannot accept pay for play, then Sprinkle is not for you. All right.
At the end of the day, when he slides me that envelope, I feel no waste because reparations. But that's just me.
That doesn't make
if it's
sense.
For you, and you came to the right place. Number one, actually solely.
The fact that she called it reparations, which is something that is given for past traumas, not something that's exchanged for a service, means that she now sees no value in that service as given. She only sees value in it as received, meaning that she just goes around 304ing. She gave up something for free. That's how they actually view sex, as something that's freely given but expensive, but valuable to receive. And they charge you based on the value that's received. But she actually look at that exchange as something for nothing. Like, you're giving me an envelope because you didn't give my great-great-great-grandmama an envelope. And I'm doing the same thing that she did, but you're repairing what happened in the past by putting this in my mouth now. That doesn't make any sense at all. So that's her intelligence level.
About you and your level up journey, and it's about doing the inner work. Aside from the outward look, we'll get into that. It's about the inner work. It's about knowing what you deserve, knowing what you're worth, and going after what you want. It's about changing your internal belief system and really wholeheartedly loving yourself. So you're going to have a lot of inner work to do. You're going to have to spend a lot of time alone. And you're going to have to take some time to envision the woman you'd like to become. And you're going to have to take steps to becoming her. Like, I feel like not enough people talk about this, but it gets really lonely and it gets really hard because I feel like once you start accelerating above your old friend group, or you start looking better than your friends and family, some of them actually don't get inspired by you, but they get jealous. Once you start looking better and feeling better, a lot of people will try to pull you down, and a lot of people will be jealous, and they'll try to instill doubt in you, and they'll question your moves. And it's just really rough because you have.
What did her friends look like before? What did her friends look like? What does her friends look like? I mean, or what did she look like before? I guess that's what I meant to ask. To where she looks better now? Like, what's the 1.0 version if this is her 2.0? Curious.
You have to stay focused on your goal, and you have to block out the outside noise, and you can't let these people's thoughts and opinions deter you from where you're going, because you will get there. So the key thing to remember is to remain focused on your goal and don't let people take you off your path, because you got this. Number 3, don't tell people too much. Work in silence. Whatever you're doing to upgrade yourself, work in silence. That's what I'm kind of on right now. As this YouTube journey progresses, you're going to see a lot of changes going on with me, and that's okay because I'm just leveling up and leveling up. So
people on YouTube are not working in silence.
See the silent hustle and the silent level up. I want you guys.
It's not silent. You're on YouTube.
For yourself, whether it's you're losing weight, you're getting a surgery, you're doing whatever you're doing to enhance your physical appearance.
Okay, she lost weight or she got a surgery.
That's okay. Don't let people's opinions affect you. You have to literally not care what other people think, because this is your world, right?
Okay, so that makes sense. She got a surgery of some sort, probably a weight loss surgery. Which, okay, so every now and again you'll see a woman whose stomach is smaller than the rest of her body would suggest that it should be. Like, the arms are still flabby, the jowls be on some Shrek stuff and all that good stuff. That means that they had the surgery because they didn't lose the weight naturally, and they can only afford to get the liposuction in one portion of the body. So yeah, that's That's what happened here. I guess it helps, but it still doesn't put you in the top 1% of women, which I'm sure that's what the top 1% of men are looking for. So yeah, but it does set you above your peers, which is why you're now complaining about jealous hoes. Hit the like button.
So for me personally, I just don't give what people say. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
That's good.
Because I'm going to keep going.
Keep going.
And I'm going to get what I want to get because it's my world. During this process, you have to really remain detached from your emotions. And
this is the same
like,
thing.
Being emotional is not going to get you anywhere in this process. So just learn how to cut it off. I don't know what you got to do to get there, but learn how to balance your emotions. I am actually a Sagittarius, so I'm not very emotional. It's easy for me to like detach from my feelings because I know that they're just temporary. So like feelings are temporary, but generational wealth is forever. While you're dating, whatever you're doing, how
I got to do a separate video on what these slurs think that generational wealth is. Generational wealth isn't a guy paying you for sex. You taking that money and spending it on yourself with no kids. That's not generational wealth. That's him generating wealth and you spending it.
however you're dating. While you're dating, you have to realize that you set the standards, right? You don't let a man come and tell you your standards. You set the standards. And if you don't like what somebody's offering, just next the rest until you get exactly what you want. Because I promise you, you will get exactly what you want. But don't feel like you're not going to get what you want. Because if you feel like you're not going to get what you want, you won't. Just know that better is coming. And
this is just something that they say to make it appear as if they're in control and as if they get more for their nana than they actually do. Pay attention. No, you don't set your price, sweetie. Okay, set it to $1 billion. Set it to $1 billion, and according to your statement, somebody will come along and eventually give you an envelope full of $1 billion for your nana. No, the amount that you get is limited to the amount that you that men are willing to spend for it. So men in an indirect way are setting the price. Now, I know that that's offset by the thought and belief that if you starve them out more, that they will pay more. But sweetie, it doesn't work that way. At least not to a certain extent, and at least not when you're dealing with the top men, which is what you are encouraging these girls to go for.
dismiss them. Dismiss people easily if they're not offering, anything that is up to your standards. That's what you have to do. You have to be really stern, detached, and emotionless. And you have to be able to dismiss those things, people, and places that are not serving you. So, and that goes for more than just dating. That goes for friendships, relationships, family members. If people are not serving you and not respecting you, dismiss them because you're making room for people who will serve you. You're making room for people who will respect.
All right, this girl's very inexperienced in life. Most relationships are reciprocal. It's a quid pro quo going on in many relationships, meaning that you have bread, this person has peanut butter, this person has jelly. Let's get together and we all make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But what you're talking about is I have nothing. And I'm not talking about even like the 304 stuff she's doing. I'm talking about just in general friendship. I have nothing, but you should just give me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And if you don't, I'll dismiss you because somebody else would. See, that is a real American, particularly a Black American way of thinking. And that's because of so many generations of subsidies, welfare, et cetera, that encourages this thinking. It's really just you should give me it because I am a Black American woman. You should give me that education. You should give me that Section 8, you should give me that food stamps. Like you, and if you wait long enough, somebody will come along and give it to you for whatever reason. Hit the like button.
Respect your boundaries and respect your standards. So don't be afraid to cut people off, because I promise you, they're not serving you anyways. They're just taking up space. And what's the point of that? Number 5 is learning how to correctly vet for providers. Okay. So I do have a video on how to know if he's not a provider. I suggest you click back to my other videos and check it out.
I will.
It has a lot of information on how to know if somebody's not a provider. So definitely vet out people who are not providers. And if they are not a provider, just cut them off. Don't waste your time, because men will try to string you along with their words. But what did we learn? Actions speak louder than words. So don't be fooled or swindled by somebody's words, because that's really going to determine where things are going. You can always tell who a person is if you just listen. So while you're vetting, just pay more attention and listen more than you talk. That's very, very important. And don't waste your time. If you're already seeing signs that this person is not a provider, cut them off. Don't respond to them, and on to the next.
Yes.
This journey is not easy.
I love that she's doing this.
It gets so much easier once you have the correct knowledge.
It does not get easier.
And men, when you understand men, and when you understand your...
It doesn't get easier. She's just getting more used to it. It doesn't get easier. And I'm not even talking about like ethically or socially or anything like that. I'm talking about financially. It does not get easier. See, she mentioned the loneliness, but what loneliness actually is in her profession is absence of money. It's long periods of time without clients. That part doesn't get easier. When you're the new girl, then, you get all of the people who are looking to try something new. Over time, those people are looking for the next new girl. It gets harder and harder and harder. There's only a certain percent of the population that actually are on some pay-for-play stuff like that. Once their curiosity, and then out of that, once their curiosity is satisfied, then they're gone. And then you have some tag-alongs. I mean, you're lucky if you get some regulars out of this. But that's the truth of the game that you're playing. And that's one of the truths that you don't want to share. Hit that like button.
Yourself. This process gets so much easier. Keep going. Keep a little vision board on Pinterest or print one out. Do your daily affirmations. Look at yourself in the mirror and just remember that you're that girl, and you're always going to be her, and you're just going to keep getting better. You're just going to keep leveling up. I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any more comments or questions, let me know down below and I'll answer them. I honestly love the feedback that you guys are giving me.
Okay, so that's her. I actually can't see the chat room. Hit the like button. I can't see the chat room in StreamYards for whatever. StreamYards has been acting up lately, bad. But Kevin Murray, salute. Educated Lame or Uneducated Lame, salute. D. Scott, appreciate you being a channel member. Uneducated Lame, appreciate you being a channel member. And let's see. Big Games, Ortha James. Appreciate you. Speaking of James, rest in peace to O.J. Simpson. Flawed man, but still left this earth too soon. All right. So Shakanulu, appreciate you. And TJ, appreciate you. Human Chapter, appreciate you. All right. So, all right, got that out the way. Now, let me go to her next video. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. All right, give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. It actually took me a while to find this because I seen her video like a long time ago. But let's see. Okay. I seen her video a long time ago and I was looking for it in my history thing, but she, like many other women, don't look anything like her thumbnail. So I couldn't find her. But this is the video that I remember saying, you know something, this sprinkle thing is really going to work because it hasn't taken off yet. I mean, even though it seems like it really hasn't taken off yet. But I was thinking like, this is really going to work to black man's advantage. And this video right here, I think this is the one, is where she explains how. Fair use, people, fair use.
This video, I'm going to be talking about where I meet men of means, men with means, wealthy men, rich men, if you like to say. I did test sheraseven's methods for a year, all of her methods. And this includes the freestyling as well. In a lot of Shera's videos, she does say to freestyle. And freestyling alone, she encourages. So she also says that going out around lunchtime or happy hour and freestyling around happy hour is a good idea. I tried that and I had zero luck. I had like no luck at all. And I have a lot of friends who tried that and they've had zero luck. And in case you've tried it and you haven't had much luck with freestyling at happy hour, I'll kind of explain why that is. I live in a big city. This city is kind of on the go. People are actually generally working and trying to make money. It's like a fast-paced city. I live in Toronto. So when I did try freestyling during happy hour, I noticed the men, they looked very stressed. Their faces were in their laptops and they were there to drink and work. They weren't there to lollygag. I just have to personally scratch that. I'm not sure what city you live in. However, possibly if you live in a slower paced city or town, freestyling during happy hour might work. But in Toronto, very, very unsuccessful. And I'm just going to make this video really short and sweet.
Okay. Right there. Right there. I always wondered. I really thought that black women were strange. Because, and I'm talking about like not from now, but like from 10 years ago. I really thought that they were just socially incompetent in a lot of ways, because I would go to things and I would do things with non-black people, whether it's happy hour or something like that, and just certain lounges and places that people like that congregate. And there was always black women there that were overdressed and overmade up. Like everybody else had on jeans, everybody else were socializing with each other. I mean, there are the people that are overworked or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But most of the time people go there to socialize with other people that you came there with. They're not, it's not looked at as a singles event. It's looked at as a place that you gather. Even if you're single, you still go there with, both your male and female friends. So it's not meant to be like a pickup place. And then there's always the black women who isn't wearing jeans, who is over made up, makeup, hair did, everything, legs freshly shaved and all that stuff. And I'm thinking like, this chick is not reading the room. Like, why is she here? Is she, and she's turning down every guy that comes her way. And it's like, well, why did you really did all that to not hook up with anybody? I thought it was strange, but now I've reached that realization like, oh, those were 304s. Those were 304s who couldn't cut it on the corner, and who most certainly couldn't cut it in the sugar daddy websites. These are those girls. So instead of doing that, they're just going to places that's not asking for it. You see, on the corner is a place where somebody is asking for it. The people who drive to that corner, they actually know what they're looking for. They went there for that purpose. And the people the corner, and the people who go to the sugar daddy websites, that is what they're looking for. They're looking for sugar babies. But what sheraseven has suggested that these women do is that they go to places where people have no intention on no pay for play. They didn't go there with hit the like button. They didn't go there with the intention to find some play for pay poo-tang. But they're doing it anyway. Let's continue.
If you don't live in a major city, you want to go to the major city and you just want to hit up the hotel's bar. Okay, the hotel, this is like the number one method that works. This is like, you go there, there's no way you're not gonna leave without a wealthy man's to the bag in some sort of way, or without generally meeting a man of means. If you want to meet a man of means and just date a man of means, you're gonna meet him. If you want a sugar daddy, you're gonna meet them. They got all of them over there. Going to any hotel and going to the bar of said hotel, or you don't even want to go to the restaurant, you want to go to the bar. I don't really suggest going on a weekday. You could have luck going on a weekday. However, I'm suggesting Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Potentially
Thursday's a
Sundays,
weekday.
but Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the hottest days, and you will never lose. One place.
Okay. So for those of y'all who thought Sprinkle Sprinkle was other than some, pay for play 3 or 4 stuff, it's not. These are the women. And I never, probably because I don't drink, I don't hang out at hotel bars. But I have seen enough movies and stuff to know that the women who are dressed a certain way and they are sitting at the hotel bars, that's what they're going for. And that is what she's going for. But once again, these are places where they are not invited to do that particular thing that they're doing. So what does this mean? How is this a good thing for Black men? Well, actually, let me play the rest of this video. I'm gonna just play, it's only like 7 minutes or 5 more minutes. I'm gonna play the rest of this, and then I'm really gonna break down how this is a good thing for Black men.
I'm specifically gonna suggest this because I know they're known globally, is the Four Seasons. One thing I noticed is, because I used to travel a lot for work, have been around the world, and I noticed that there's always a Four Seasons. No matter what city I'm in, the bar is really booming. Like, the bar is full of them. It's full of provider men. It's full of men with means. It's full of wealthy men. And on the weekends, they're either traveling for work. They're definitely not from the city, which makes things easier for you because you won't have to worry about having to keep up with them if you don't want to. Or it's easier to like get a chance to like get flown out. Sometimes they might be from the city. Who knows? But my thing is that it's full of men who are having a drink, who are very chatty, and who have the money to take care of you. There's not that many young people in these types of places. That's what I notice as well.
By taking care of, she's not talking about long term, because they're not in the city. This is just something that you're doing to make their temporary vacation more enjoyable. Now, you're only working at max 3 days a week. So you're not making much money doing this. You're basically spending your weekends hoping to find some penis that's more into you than they are into the lighter skinned chick next to you. And if you don't, you go home broke and you try to figure out rent. And if you do, then you just get online and brag about how the lifestyle is just so perfect for you.
My friend took me to a Four Seasons downtown. I was a bit younger, and I noticed that I was one of the youngest people in there, and all eyes were on me. When you go into a place like that, and when you're substantially younger, all eyes are on you, and everybody wants you. So if you're not extra young, look the best. Look the best and kill it. When you bring that main character energy and you're looking good, all eyes are going to be on you, and then suddenly you have all the options. So remember this: Four Seasons, your local city, Four Seasons bar on the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can even go during the weekday. However, I know you're going to be the most successful if you go there on the weekend. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. It's kind of all just word vomit. However, this is just how I meet minds. Another place you can go to meet wealthy men is going to be the obvious, which is country clubs. So if you have, the funds to be able to sign up for a country club, go there, do your thing, and they're everywhere. It's probably with them. However, if you just are looking to freestyle, I would
Never been a member of a country club, but apparently they got these 304s at country clubs. So after so many rounds of golf, you walk into, the place and you see a 304 there. Okay.
would suggest going to upscale lounges in the city. And the reason why we're going to these places is because we're not going to the same places we usually go to. We're not going to clubs, we're not going to restaurants. You know, we're going to places where older, wealthier people spend their free time. Other place I go is like I go to high tea, go to a city where there's a hotel and like
Hotel.
I'm sorry guys, but hotels are the key places to meet them. If it's not a hotel restaurant, it's a hotel bar, it's a hotel lounge.
You
Those are
already
the
said
places
that.
you want to go to meet them. And I promise you, this is like 100% success rate. If you're doing all the right things, dressing the part, looking the part, and acting the part,
And being
you will
young.
leave with
And
at least two, and you'll be able to.
at least two. Okay. So looking the part means being young. Men value youth, beauty, and fertility. She at least had one out of three at some point in her life. So this is a sinking ship. Just saying.
Go from there. Other thing is when you're in this mindset and when you're in this energy of leveling up, you literally become a magnet to the lifestyle you desire. And no matter where you go, you actually start to attract these wealthy men. Literally, the first month I started this journey, I literally went to my spiritual shop and boom, I attracted a man of means. This man actually invited me to his family party, and it turns out this man was actually a famous actor and millionaire, and his family are all successful actors, millionaires. Their family is just stupid rich, and was invited into that environment. Then I was able to network, and from then I was attracting men who like to make money and who like to provide. It's really all about your energy, essentially. Like, no matter where you go, they are.
Where is it? Where is it? Because right now you're selling a fantasy. Where is all this wealth? Because right now it seems like you live in a pretty regular apartment. Where's all this? I think that that is almost completely made up. I don't doubt that you met an actor that that took you out. I don't, I don't that you met a millionaire that took you out. But I do think that you're lying about the wealth that this lifestyle is producing. Okay, some of you may wonder, why do 304s encourage other women to become 304s? On the surface, it would seem like, okay, they are just creating more competition. They're creating more competition for themselves. But the real reason why 304s encourage women to become 304s also is because the greatest competition that a woman can have is regular pick me women. 304s have clients. They have long-term clients that drop them the moment they get a girlfriend, that drop them the moment they get a wife. That's their real competition. Their real competition isn't the 304 standing on the block next to them, isn't the 304 in the bar next to them. It isn't the 304 online next to them. Their real competition is the pick-me's. The real competition is, all these married guys that's not really out there like that looking for that. It's these wealthy guys who actually are enjoying their wife's sexual company, so they don't need your services. That is the real competition, and they see that. That is why they encourage the women to become 304s, because it discourages them from becoming wife, mother, girlfriend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what they look at as free interactions. That's what they look like. That's what they look at it as. So okay. I want to get to the end of this. So I'm gonna explain why is this a good thing for Black men.
They're going to find you. You are like attracting them when you are focused on the level up. If I'm not attracting them, I'll go to a lounge or I will go to a hotel bar. So if you don't,
Why are you still going places? Like, didn't you just Julia Roberts Pretty Woman your way into like the Rolodex? Like, I thought that you were getting like word of mouth recommendations by millionaires by now. Like, yeah, this millionaire told this millionaire, and this millionaire told this millionaire, and blah 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 blah. Like, I thought you were at that stage, but nope. You still going to the bars looking for new clients because your story was crap. And the story was crap because you want to entice other women into this lifestyle so they won't be competition with you for the aforementioned reasons. Now, let me get into this.
don't know the spots in your city where to find rich men, try those places, and I guarantee you will find them. They'll find you. Go in with the right energy. Remember to be the main character. Look good, feel good. Be ready to talk. If you guys want more tips on exactly how to pull them, I can definitely help you with that. But going back to the reason we're here, I definitely learned most things from Shira. Definitely freestyling during happy hour, not in this day and age. It's not working. If it's not the day and age, it's just my city, so it doesn't work for me in my location. You guys let me know. Have you tried freestyling during happy
Why
hour?
is it called
Has it worked for
freestyling?
you? Maybe it's just my city. Let me know in the comments down below, please, and thank you. I'm gonna keep pushing out these videos for y'all. Y'all let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Wow. Okay. So that was tough to watch. Why is this a good thing for Black men? Well, for so long, when the greater society, and when I say the greater society, I mean the other 70 or 87% of Americans that aren't Black, they only looked at Black society, Black relationships, et cetera, through the lens of Black women. And the reason for this is because they were the ones holding the kids. So, a reporter or whomever would go to the Black woman and say, why are you a single mother? And she don't want to say that I became a single mother because I wanted to scam the welfare system that you're paying your taxes into. She's not going to say that. So she's going to, just fabricate a story that, oh yes, I was with a guy and he left me for a white woman and I can't find him in modern times for whatever reason. So I'm a single mother now. Give me money. They're always going to vilify the Black man as part of the story. Like we are someone that has trouble with fidelity, that we have, basically the same image that the mainstream society painted of us with the first movie that they did, and that is Birth of a Nation. Just a group of people that can't control their lust and don't have a sense of loyalty to family and don't have a sense of ethics as it pertains to such. That is the image that they have been painting of Black men for a long time, since before any of us have been born, since before Oprah, they have been deliberately painting this image for a long time. Why? Because society sees dysfunction amongst Black people and now, and they see dysfunction amongst the Black family. So the question is who to blame, but unfortunately they have been posing this question to Black women. So of course we appear to be the bad guy. So now what's going on? Hit the button, hit the like button. Now what's going on is that they are painting their own image. They are painting their own 304 image. Take the country club, for example. There are some people, and believe it or not, and it doesn't seem like this way because Black people tend to live in major cities. But there exists people who go a very long period of time without talking to or interacting with Black men or women for months, some even years, if they live in, a place like Montana or something like that. They go for significantly long periods of time without having hit the like button, without having any interactions with a Black person. So all they know about us is what the media tells them. But then they go to a country club or they go to a hotel and they see a woman there. And they say, oh, this woman is a prostitute. This woman is a prostitute. This woman represents 100% of the Black people that I have spent, that I have seen in 2024. And she's a prostitute. Eventually, what winds up happening is that observable reality overtakes what the people see in the media. And then when posed with the question of why is there such a major dysfunction amongst the Black community and in Black families, it's not because the men are derelicts, it's because the women are hoes. And excuse me, algorithm, for saying that, but it's because the women are hoes. You cannot form a family with a destitute. You cannot form a healthy family with a destitute. You can't. Listen at the stuff that this brother said. She said, detach. You have to detach yourself from people that don't serve you. You mean like babies? You mean like babies, like children? That means that you can't possibly pair bond with something that doesn't give you direct benefits. And even when that person or entity does give you direct benefits, like through child support or through the government aid that they're giving to the baby, but you're skimming off the top, even in situations like that, you still don't have the love or respect that you should be, just the same way you can't and don't have love and respect for a John. This is why people don't marry housewives. Or excuse me, this is why people don't make housewives out of 304s. This is why something like that is doomed to fail, because they program themselves to not have the regular attachment that women have towards their lovers. Point blank, period. So they are, in order to advertise their goods through this sprinkle movement, in order to advertise their goods, they are going to places that they're not invited to do the things that they do, creating a terrible ethnic reputation. Oh, and by the way, this is affecting the non-304 Black women too. I mean, I said that this is a good thing for Black men because people will start to see us as less of a problem, or us as less of the problem. And they're going to start to see the problem for what it is, and that is far too many of our women have a 304 adjacent or a direct 304 mentality. Society is going to start to realize that, and the negative image that is getting brothers SHOT by the LAPD or by the Chicago PD or by the Boston PD or by the NYPD, like once they start to see that, then society will be like, okay, this young man is a trick baby. He is not the byproduct of a equally derelict person that chose not to take care of his kids. This is the byproduct of a woman who received a bunch of sperm from unknown sources because that's her job. And one of those sources, got it through. Shout out to the Fresh Prince CEO. One of those sources, got through. They're going to start to see the situation for what it is. Now, it's a bad thing for non-sprinkle Black women, and shout out to those. By the way, I can't see my chat, so, shout yourself out if you're there. Actually, let me see if I got super chat. So I guess I got to look at my chat, but All right. Oh, Danica. Salute. All right. Toya. So yeah, I had Celine. Yeah. So I have women like that here. All right. So well, not necessarily Celine, but all right. So it's going to be that. It is going to that problem is going to be that, because now your ethnic reputation as a black woman is that of a 304, which means that you're on double duty. You're on double pick me duty. You are on double wifey duty. You are on double girlfriend duty. You have to be better to counteract the image and the ethnic reputation of others. And listen, there's this thinking amongst women that society should not judge them, should not stereotype them. Perhaps they shouldn't, but guess what? They're going to. They're going to. People are going to think that Asians are gifted mathematically. People are going to think that blacks are gifted athletically. I mean, you're not going to ignore that. You're not going to ignore the number of Asian or Oriental doctors, considering that they're only 5% of the population. You're not going to ignore this. You're not going to ignore these things. And they're not going to ignore the fact that 100% of the young women that they met that were black are 304s. They're not. This is going to affect your society reputation. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit more, but actually, before I do that, once again, it's not coming up in StreamYard, so let me read some super chats. He's super famous, but she don't know who he was. Yeah, he's not famous. He's not an actor. He's probably not even a millionaire. Basically, she had an encounter with somebody who is semi-famous, and he did a pay for play, because it's better than, and with that she paid, her electric bill and some of her cable bill. And that's it. And then she just went next week looking for some more penis. She's glamorizing a lifestyle to get other women on it. But no, he wasn't that famous. Listen, so the movie Hustlers, right? The movie Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez and that Asian chick that can get it, and Keke Palmer that can get it, right? And in that movie, she was talking about how she was a stripper, the Asian girl. And then she was like, the highlight of my career was when Usher came into the club. And like, really? That's it? That's it? You've been working the strip club, shaking bass for cash for years, and the highlight of your career was when he stopped by. So that's it? That's it? That is your life? Usher stopped by. Like, okay. That was the greatest day of your career. That's sad. And unfortunately, this experience was the greatest day of her vaginal career. A no-name, unnamed actor who blessed her with with three figures. That is the highlight. And she's going to sell it as if it's the norm. Okay, it says Square Table Degenerate says, I know someone who works at a country club. The members openly harass this asinine advice. Okay, so yeah. Trust me, I'm not a country club dude. But I could picture that being a thing. Oh, in fact, it was Danica that brought out that brought out these 304s who are going to places that they don't belong. It's like the tech conventions. listen, like the tech conventions, they're paying to go to tech conventions so they can get with high value men. Listen, it's awkward and it's weird, and we don't necessarily want you there. And that's everywhere they're going. That's all of these uninvited places that they're going to. It's awkward to 99% of the men there. It's just like they're looking because, and let's just say if a woman is beautiful, right? Let's say she's an attractive woman. You kind of like you look at them and you like, oh, okay, so are you a developer? Are you front end, back end? So where did you go to school? You try to strike up a conversation that's tech related because it's a tech convention, and then she's not a part of that conversation, and she's like, oh no, I'm not in a tech, and you just like right at that point, you're just kind of like, what the hell? If you're not a John. If you're not a John, and unfortunately for them, most guys aren't. If you're not a John, you just have that WTF moment, like, okay, I'm gonna go stand over there now. It's very weird. So at country clubs, you ask this woman, and they're paying fees to be in the country club, exorbitant fees. That's funny. So you ask this woman, so what brings you to this country club? Do you golf, or do you, and then you ask something golf related, and she sits there with the doughy, stupid look upon her face. And it's just like a very odd, cringe moment that they go through all the time. When she says, ignore the detractors, ignore the people who aren't in, that's what she's talking about. The majority of the people are like, what in the hell are you doing here? And that is a bad look. So for these one clients, these one actors or something like that, that don't want to be alone at night, for all of these one guys, they sully the reputation to 99 other guys, which is taking it off of us. Hit that like button. Which is taking it off of us. It gives people a clear view of where the problem lies. These women are so lazy when trying to find a maid. I don't know if this is okay. For one, they're not trying to find a mate. They're trying to find money. All of this selling the idea or the notion that they're going to get that they're getting Richard Gere's, and that they are going to, furnish their lifestyle for long or extended periods of time. No, that's not the case. That's not the case, at least amongst these type of chicks. These understand this. These sprinkle chicks are not marketable in a hostile marketplace. What does that mean? It means that these chicks are looking for places and venues where they are the only chick that is selling their goods. Because they don't want to stand on the corner next to other girls, because then people will get the other girls first. They don't want to go to the OF sites, because people will become a patron of the other girls first. They don't want to go to what's that called? Seeking arrangements, because they know that somebody else will be able to sell their goods first. This is the open marketplace. This is where people go for that thing. Kind of like you have like auto malls, and then you have like those Chinese people that sell, that has a lot with 20 cars, and they say, 10 cars under $6,000. Like, that's them. That's them. They're going for the market of people who aren't necessarily looking for the goods, because if they were looking for the goods, they go to the auto mall, and they come with their good credit, and they are actually looking for a particular thing. So you're competing with other vendors and stuff like that. No, They're looking for the people who are on the bus and they look out the bus window and they say, "Ooh, that's a good price." So these are not top tier chicks. These are not. All right, let's see. Okay, somebody said, God forbid that they put in effort to get to know someone. They, how can I say this? They don't have the people skills for that. And quite frankly, how can I say this? Most smart men know what they are and to keep adequate distance away from them. Like, and I'm not talking about like Fresh Prince CEO who puts his baby batter in chicks like this. No, I'm talking about most regular guys know this. They know what they are. They know what they're there for. Once they figure that out, then it's just a matter of yay, nay, or how much. So yeah. All right, let's see. I forgot to say drizzle drizzle. That's okay. Let's see. Well, I mean, he said most chicks are boring. Listen, men and women think different, vastly different. So you're not going to the conversational value that you get from a woman is not going to be the same. It is rare that a man connects with a woman on a conversational level. And it's extraordinarily rare for women to do that who are 304s. I know sheraseven really likes to claim that, like, oh, if you do this, oh, if you pretend to be a damsel in distress, then that will turn him on, and then you got it's like no, no. If you are an attractive woman, it really doesn't matter the circumstances, or if you're a damsel in distress or something like that. It really doesn't. Try being an unattractive woman and being a damsel in distress. In fact, okay, so we got Danica in the house. Danica, if you're still there, do this experiment. I want you to pretend like you're stuck on the side of the road. And then turn a timer on and see how long it is before a guy pulls over. Then I want you to get an unattractive friend and have her do the same thing, and then measure the difference in time. They're not pulling over because they just have like this overwhelming need to help a the key thing about a damsel in distress is you have to be a damsel. You actually have to be damseling. We don't care about your distress if you're not a damsel. But and another thing is these are very short-term things. It's like even if a guy has a hero complex, he's going to, like, you're not going to sustain a relationship by being in chronic need. Like, what are you going to do? Give yourself a medical condition so he can nurse you for the rest of his life? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to put yourself in a wheelchair hoping that that's his kink? So no, none of this is, they don't know how to properly make real connections with anybody, quite frankly. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm going to do one more video of hers, and then I am going to call it quits. Hit that like button.
Entails, what have I learned, what are my tips and tricks, what are things that work for me, what are things that don't work for me, and how to kind of go about it. You have to be intentional, and you have to know where you're going with this. So many of you definitely know who Shera7 is. If you don't know who she is, I suggest looking her up on YouTube real quick, getting the synopsis. But she's essentially the sprinkle lady that people took her videos from YouTube, and she went viral on TikTok. However, I personally have known about Shera since I was about 19, 20.
All right. So according to the like count, about 20 of y'all are not liking, actually 30 are not liking the video. So yeah, y'all got to do something about that. Y'all really do. I hate to stop in mid sentence, but that's something that has to be rectified. See, I was watching through StreamYard, but because StreamYard's not working, I'm forced to watch it through this, and I'm like, oh wow, I can see the like count go up and down here, or really just go up, and it's not going up that fast. So yeah, y'all gotta handle that. All right.
And that's because I knew about her Shera Star Goddess channel, and that's like more of a spiritual channel. It's about the leveling up process, and it's about wanting better for yourself and doing better for yourself and becoming the best out of dating and out of men. Of course, the reason I started this journey was because I was having no luck with dating men. Dating men strictly off of emotions was not getting me anything, and it was depleting me as a woman. I was in my masculine energy, I wasn't able to receive, and I wasn't the highest version of myself. I still don't think I'm the highest version of myself now, but I'm on my level up journey, and that's what this is.
Okay. Oh wow. And I suspected this. So really, this is for women who's not getting what they wanted out of regular dating. And I know what you're thinking, like what they wanted was money. No, I think that they wanted to do it the regular way. That they wanted to do it the regular way, and through all the players and stuff like that, they just really didn't get what they wanted. So now not only do they have some anger and hostility towards men, they actually feel owed from the plurality of men. So sprinkle lifestyle is really for that type of woman. For a woman who had one too many breakups, a woman who wasn't invited to all the parties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's who it's for. It's really get back to mankind. For one, taking themselves out of the marriage, or girlfriend or wife, mother, et cetera, market, taking yourself out of that market, and then trying to get as much as you can from the other market. It's the same way with a guy who's just like, okay, um, I don't like the way these women are treating me, so I am going to find some type of way to mistreat them, whether it's through pump and dump or what have you. It's like, okay, now that I have money, I'm going to find a way to mistreat the plurality of women. This really is on some who hurt you stuff. But she makes it clear who hurt her, and that is men. Listen, ladies, it's not easy to just get that white picket fence. It's not. You even after you do and you put in the work and everything like that, there is still a large possibility. It's still very difficult. Just because you are eligible, that doesn't mean that you are going to get the thing that you're looking for. And you can ask anybody who got high marks at university or something like that. They took on the major, and they studied real hard, and they graduated and they got their degree, and then they go out into the job market, and then they realize that, something, it is really tough. It is really tough. Just because I qualify, that doesn't mean that there's going to be a job out there waiting for me. And if it is, it doesn't mean that I will cross paths with that job.
This is about. I started this level up journey last year around May, and from that, I was able to attract a lot of things. I'm not going to say high value men, but just men who made a lot of money. I was able to attract dates, very luxurious dates. I was able to attract fully paid for vacation. I was able to attract luxury items, gifts, designer. But yeah, let's talk about things that did not work for me and things I had to learn. So I started tapping into Shira's newer videos and I didn't really pay attention to her older videos. And I was taking advice from her newer videos, which I'm going to be honest, I love you, Shera7. However, the new videos, it's very trolly. So you really have to go back and watch her old videos. So the things I did wrong, where it was that I was being kind of forward with my demands of money. Like I would meet a millionaire man and I would be like, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And I didn't even take the time to build a connection with him, to make him feel like I really liked him, to even like find out things that I do like about him. I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in the material things, and that was
This is weird, and it's a strange contrast to her other video. But keep in mind that, and I don't know if the other video was before or after this, I'll look it up. But keep in mind that in the other video, she was speaking as if she was more direct, because she was on that hype of, you know, hey, if he's not benefiting you, then drop him. So which means that you have to find out as quickly as possible if he's benefiting you. But you were talking as if you had that mentality and it was so successful at the hotel bars and the hotel lounges and stuff like that. So you were deliberately misleading. But now you're saying that you actually have to, you know, put some work in, put some finesse in, put some conversation in. And what's weirder about this is to determine if you like him. Does it really matter if you like him? It's really about if he likes you. That's what 304 is. Yeah, he has to like you, and it's your job to make sure that he does.
my biggest downfall. You can't be too forward when it comes to dating high quality men or dating men with means. You have to actually date them because you are dating them. When you make it seem very fake, they can pick up on the energy and it won't last long. And that's what happened to me. All the guys who I dated, who did gift me, who did take me on vacations, it didn't last long because they wanted more from me and I wasn't willing to give them more but this fake facade. In Shira's video, she does tell you to ask for what you want. However, you have to let them ask you what you want. You have to kind of get them to ask you what you want rather than you asking them what you want, because then it doesn't seem fun for them. They want to seem like they're the ones coming up with the idea. And she does say this in some of the videos. She doesn't explain for you how to get them to that point, how to play these like strategic mind games or games, you know, to get them to that point. So I've been looking on YouTube for videos everywhere. Like, how do you do this? Like, but I had to figure it out for myself, and I'm still learning. The best advice I ever took from Shira is to never message a man first and to always let the man come to me, because that just means you're using your feminine energy to attract them to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to look needy. You don't have to look desperate. You don't have to do a thing. So 9 out of 10, the man.
Wow. Wow. I don't see how you cannot look needy when you get your hair, your nails, your makeup, you know, your body waxed, you put on your best evening gown, and then you go sit at a bar for hours on end waiting for some penis. Like, really? You are needy. Like, you are looking to sell a good. Like, I mean, you're not fooling anybody. Like, you're trying to give this persona of I don't need you. By the way, thanks for the Cash App Ninja. Nanja E. I appreciate you. And Nanga. So I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. Greatly appreciate you. Let me get the reply there. All right. So, but yeah, I mean, just like car salesmen need to sell cars, vacuum cleaner salesman needs to sell, like real estate agents needs to sell houses. Like you are needy, and the person who knows who you're selling to knows this on some level. He knows it.
Man is gonna ask you what exactly you like or what you're looking for, and you're always gonna say, I like a really generous man. These are the things I like, etc. etc. If he really likes you, he's gonna tell you that he's a generous man and he's gonna offer something or ask you what you like. This is something I wish I had ready beforehand. I will state that I like gifts, but I never knew what gift I wanted, and that was my biggest downfall. So having an Amazon wish list or a link towards the lists of things that you want is gonna really come in handy. You could just send him a link. If you don't want him to just give you money, you can just click the link, because some men or some girls just feel awkward in the beginning asking for money. And I'm really good at just getting the money because I'm not afraid to ask for money for bills. I live in Toronto, and Toronto is not the cheapest right now. So I boldly
She just said that she's supposed to get to know the guy first, and now she's saying, I don't have a problem with just asking the guy for. It's weird.
will ask with my chest, yeah, like, would you mind helping me out with some bills? And if they say yes, which they always do, they'll ask, like, how much do you need? This is what you need.
Oh, really? They always do.
$1,000. Ask for 2,000 or ask for.
Nobody's giving you $2,000. Not a one. Not a one person is giving you $2,000. And you know this. You're trying to sell the fantasy to other women. These guys are not giving you $2,000. See, once again, they don't really want you in the 304 market. They don't want you in the whole market with them. They just want you out the regular markets. Here's how it works. Oh, crap. Hold on. Okay. Here's how it works. You're an older woman, like sheraseven. And the problem is you have a bunch of young women either giving up relationships for free or marrying guys. Or they are selling it at the same rate that you're selling it. That doesn't work. So that doesn't work. These women are competition. If they're selling it at the same rate that you're selling it, then they're competition. So what do these women do? They tell women to sell it, taking them out of the relationship market, but to sell it at a price that nobody else is paying for. That way, eliminating them as competition. So when somebody who listens to this chick says, okay, I'm going to go to the bars and lounges there in Toronto. And then when a guy comes up to me, I'm going to say, give me $2,000. And then she's going to come by and say, all right, give me $85 and 2 drinks. See how that works?
For 1,500. Always ask for more than you need, because they are going to lowball you. They're going to try to give you less because they want you to keep coming back to them. When I first started this, I did not know. So like my first month, I had met a guy and he was sending me money. He didn't even live in the country, so I didn't have to see him. But I had asked him for 700, and he was only sending me $450, $500 a month. And I should have asked for 1,000. You know what I mean? I learned the lesson now. This is not going to be an easy process. You have to be fully committed to the level up, because while you're doing this, you're not only just telling the men what you want, you're working on yourself. Like for me, I started changing my eating habits. So you're going to the gym, you're working on your mental health, you're working on your self-love, you're like leveling up yourself to know like, hey, I deserve everything that I want. And
Okay. So this explains a lot when she says she started going to the gym. And this goes further into what I was saying before. I've seen this, but it was a while since I've seen it. But this goes further into what I was saying before. And what I was saying before was that these are jilted women. These are women who were frustrated with the dating market, and this is their revenge on a dating market, and this is their way of trying to get back from the dating market what they feel that they put into it. So she was in worse physical shape than she is now when she was in the dating market. And she got treated the way men, quite frankly, should treat fat women. You should be treated like crap. Just by virtue of being fat, you don't deserve the things that regular women deserve. That's why you had to actually not be fat to try to get some of those things. Now, if you do it because of vengeance, or you do it because you do it to actually attract a proper mate, it's all the same. I mean, it's just one less fat woman. So the world is a better place. You should have got mistreated. And this goes to, and I know she's gone, but this goes to the Danikas out there. Listen, fellas, there is nothing wrong. There's a lot wrong with banging fat girls, but there's nothing wrong with, sleeping with a woman that you detest, but you find physically attractive. There's nothing wrong with doing this. I mean, don't be delivering seeds, but there's nothing wrong with doing this. How else would they learn? They need to have that wake up moment. They need to they need to realize, they need to come to an epiphany or an epiphany and say, how come these guys are just coming and going? What is it about myself? If I want to make a world the better place, take a look at myself, then make the change. Because they're not going to listen to you if you just tell them. No, they have to feel it in their vagina. They have to actually feel the penis leave after he gets so frustrated and tired of your crappy personality. And then if they don't have the IQ to say, something, every time I say this particular stupid thing, guys just start leaving, then that's on them. Then they're a lost cause no matter what.
and as you're getting stronger with this knowledge within yourself, you'll start to attract it, and it'll be easier for you to tell a man, look them in the eye and say, hey, I want my rent paid for. The more you believe it, the more they believe it, and the more they're going to believe that you're worth it because you believe that you're worth it. Another thing I learned during this process.
That's that fake manifestation stuff. That's that fake manifestation stuff. It is. I believe I'm worth it, so I get it. Try that at a job negotiation. I'm talking to you like non-ho guys that are better yet, because I know that y'all are already working. Tell your boss that. Tell your boss that. Don't get me wrong, you might get a raise, but try doubling your salary. And tell me how that works.
It's to never just have one, because there was a time when I just had one, and then when that one fizzled away, I was like, where's the coin? Yeah, you always have to have multiple. And something I learned this year is that I have more than three, because that way your funds are always on rotation. You're always getting what you want. You're always getting gifts. You're always.
And there she has it. She has three. Three guys giving her 3 to 4 figures a month. So let's just go wild with it and say she's getting $3,000. Plus some crap from time to time. And every time she's on her knees, she's actually, well, she's on her knees doing something else. Yeah, ha. But she's on her knees, hoping and blessing that it doesn't fizzle out. See, women need to understand this. The women who are watching, y'all already know this, but it needs to be said so y'all can feel it. The truth of the matter is that sex has a diminished return. What is a diminished return? It's the reason that the first bite of a sandwich is not as good, or excuse me, why the first bite of the sandwich is significantly better than the last bite of a sandwich. And each bite that you take is less valuable than the previous. That's diminished return. It's not as valuable as it was. It's diminished return. Sex is like that for a woman. Show me a beautiful woman and I'll show you a man that's tired of having sex with her. And I know that y'all see some women who are just, oh, wow, I'll never get tired of that. Trust me, you would. You're saying that because you haven't had it. Once you had it, after a while, you do get tired of it. Now, it's up to a woman in that time from when you meet her to when you are tired of having sex with her to show that she has other non-sexual values. If not, which many of these women don't, which is why they find themselves in the situation that they're in, then they just continue on with a cycle of getting sexed until a guy is tired of having sex with you, and then you go out and find another one. It's a perpetual cycle. Right now, she's doing that with 3 guys, and yeah, it's going to have the same result. So she's on a constant quest for a penis. It's a revolving door. And what she's going to find, what all these women find, is that fewer men are coming in and more men are going out.
Getting money and you're always getting spoiled. You always need to have more than one. Treat this as a full-time job, because the more you invest into yourself and the more you invest into this lifestyle, the less you will have to invest into working for somebody else outside of you, going to work, going to that 9 to 5, clocking in. The more time you're going to have to invest in your passion. And for me, one of my passions is to be a content creator, focus on social media, and build one of my businesses. I want to build myself and become a brand. So this is why we're doing this, ladies. Don't listen to words, listen to action. So if somebody promises you that they're going to give you something, whether it's a gift or money, take out your phone, go to the website, click the item that you want, go to checkout, and put your phone in their face and be like, okay, babe, you have to be.
Okay, somebody says she doesn't have 3 guys. She jumped off to a couple. Okay. I do believe that she has 3. I believe that she went through a pattern that most girls like her go through, and that is when she's new, all the guys are curious about the new ones. And then, okay, I think that she went through the entire population of Johns in her area that is willing to be with her. And, they either, and of that, all that remained is 3. So I do believe that. And I do believe that these 3 guys call her and gift her on an as wanted basis. And also, that as because diminish return, like guys that used to call say 3 times a week, then it turns into two, then it turns to one, then it turns into one every 2 weeks, and then see, because like she said, she used the proper word when she said fizzled out. She didn't say stopped. It fizzles out, meaning that it is a gradual decline of lack of interest until it goes away. So I do believe that, within that time period, she has 3 that are fizzling out. She gets sporadic tips and, she gets sporadic monies that, and trust me, she has a job that she hopes is enough to pay the bills, but it's not. By a job, I mean, it's not a 9 to 5. If I had to guess, she probably is a Uber driver or something like that. Like she's an independent contractor, but she's not making ends meet with her vagina alone. She's not.
Be confident when you're asking them for what you want, and you have to do it in a manner that sounds sweet, fun, and friendly. So something else that's going to work for you is learning how to use the power of suggestion. This is something Shira does teach, and you're going to have to look into her old videos. The power of suggestion is where you kind of make it seem like it's their idea. The other day, I just wanted money, and I told one of them, I was like, I really want this gift, babe, but it's going to be kind of expensive. And he's like, how about I just give you the money so you can buy the gift? I was like, okay. So another thing you have to realize is, this is what Shira teaches too, choosing the correct target.
Okay. I think that the guys know that you're a hoe. I think that you kind of get off on feeling like you deceived a guy. But I think that he knows that you're a hoe. But he also knows that we live in this society, and I don't know if Canada is the same way, but he also knows that you're not supposed to directly say it. Because the difference between going to jail for what do you call that? Solicitation, and not going to jail for solicitation is subtle things like that. Like you can't give a woman money for sex, but you can give her a gift card with the receipt for sex. Like you can't directly pay a woman for sex, but you can pay her to make a sex tape that you're going to later use for profit. So it's weird, and it doesn't surprise me that, if you phrase it like that's a loophole. It doesn't surprise me if you just tapped into a loophole, but you think that you are just so seductive and you're so outsmarting these guys. It seems like it's just like, yeah, so by the way, I'm gonna need X amount of dollars to get this X object to buy me a Y. Is that like, oh yeah, okay. Like, so I'm gonna have to take a Uber back, and that's going to cost me, $100. It's like, yeah, but you live around the corner. Yeah, it's gonna cost $100. So just give me the money. Like the guys know, they just, they're just playing the game with you.
Because a man with money and a man who likes you, those two, he's not going to have a problem spending the money. So if he has a problem, it's either one on one. He doesn't have the money, or he doesn't like you enough to spend the money, and you'll know. So for me personally, I won't waste time trying to sway a man to spend money on me, because if
Wait,
not him, that's not him.
wait, this
And then
brought us. I'm not gonna waste time. But she just said, she said in the beginning, hold on.
About things that did not work for me and things I had to learn. So I started tapping into Shira's newer videos, and I didn't really pay attention to her older videos. and I was taking advice from her newer videos, which I'm gonna be honest, I love you, Shera7. However, the new videos, it's very trolly. So you really have to go back and watch her old videos. So the things I did wrong, where it was that I was being kind of forward with my demands of money. Like I would meet a millionaire man and I would be like,
Not a millionaire.
This is what I want. And I didn't even take the time to build a connection with him to make him feel like
So so right there she says, take time, build a connection. Build a connection, crucial. So build a connection before you start demanding money. But then right here, she's saying other stuff.
a man to spend money on me. Because if that's not him, that's not him. And there are millionaires out there who are cheap, and there are millionaires out there who are not generous men. So what do? You get another one. Yeah, that's kind of my journey and things I've learned. It's kind of all in pieces, but I hope you guys.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back some.
How about I just give you the money so you can buy the gift? I was like, okay, those two, he's not gonna have a problem spending the money. So if he has a problem, it's either one of one. He doesn't have the money or he doesn't like you enough to spend the money. And you'll know. So for me personally, I won't waste time trying to sway a man to spend money on.
Okay. Earlier, she says build a connection is crucial. And now she's saying, I'm not going to waste time trying to convince a man. So you see this? You see the contradiction? She's fibbing, fibbing, fibbing. She's lying, lying, lying. You see how she's all over the place? And that's because she has to tell a certain amount of lies to make this lifestyle seem appealing to the competition. She wants to sell this lifestyle to the competition. So she has to tell a certain amount of lies. Like all these millionaires that I meet so many millionaires, and I have 3 guys that are millionaires, and they give me so many luxury items that you can see in the background because they're millionaires. It's like, really? And I just walk up to them and I tell them exactly what I want from them. And if they don't give it to me, I just go to the next millionaire. I say $2,000. You see the crap? She just said that when she first started, she made the mistake of being too upfront and not taking time out to get to know them. And then later she's like, don't take time out to get to know them. If they're interested, then they want to spend money on you. She's lying, lying, lying.
Me. Because if that's not him, that's not him. And there are millionaires out there who are cheap, and there are millionaires out there who are not generous men. So what do? You get another one. Yeah, that's kind of my journey and things I've learned. It's kind of all in pieces, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. And if you guys have more in-depth questions, let me know, because I've been doing this for a year now, and I can say I'm pretty experienced. I still have a lot to learn, but I've learned a lot, if that makes sense. So for those who are just beginning on this sprinkle journey, please leave a comment down below if you like this video, if it was helpful, if there's key pointers that you need to learn, or if there's something you want me to make a video on, let me know, because I know where to meet them, how to know which ones are the right ones for you, the specific things you need to say, and it's all about the confidence at the end of the day. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Okay. So there is one more. Is this it?
I was in a deeply transactional relationship for a year of my life, and it changed the way I view dating, relationships, people, everything for good and some bad. I'm not sure how to even structure this video, what the takeaway will be, or whether I'm even going to make it public on my page, but I just had to talk about this. The beginning. It was the first relationship that I had ever been in that I felt like the man was actually pouring into my cup and actually improving my life. Other relationships I had been in, they never had the ability to provide and give me the insights that he did and that he had. And that made me even more attracted. I came from a 3-year relationship where I felt like we were going nowhere because he was going nowhere. After that, I vowed to myself to never be with someone who didn't have any direction, who could not lead. Of course, you can't lead if you have no direction. And
okay, here's another case. These are the sprinkle chicks. Fellas, you are not losing anything with these sprinkle chicks. These are the women that the dating market either had already soft rejected or harsh rejected. You know, like that, the dating market either soft rejected them, meaning that they went through the same bad things that most women go through, and that is bad breakups, you know, a couple of players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or it hard rejected it, meaning that they went through the same, just to an extraordinary degree, you know. And yeah, so, but either way, a bunch of jilted women. These are women who teeter around the average mark while done up as far as looks go. So these aren't the women that goes through their IG, and of the 15,000 people, they just find the one that's going to pay the most. These are not those chicks. These are the regulars. Let's just call them normies. She was in a 3-year relationship with a dude that she claims to be broke. And she's like, no more. I'm going to be a hoe. By the way, women like this always has hoe in them. They already had a hoe in them. Why? Because when they break up after these 3 years relationships, they start to calculate, meaning that they already have a sex for money mentality. And they count. They say, okay, in these 3 years, let's just say we had sex 100 times a year, and for 3 years, so we had sex 300 times. And if I had charged $100, then I would have $30,000 right now. But I don't have $30,000 in my bank account. I have $5. So it is a greater loss. That is the way they think. There's a connection between sex and money in their mind. So they look at it as money lost. They look at it as something given for free. And it's not a tough transition from that thinking to, I'm not going to give it away for free again. Let me try to sell it.
and who had no money. Looking back, I think I went to the extreme and did the complete opposite. Like went with someone who was completely opposite. I got with someone who was at the top of his field, making $500,000 a year, older, knew exactly where he was going, and was unapologetic, and a provider who would make my life easier with his resources. At first, it was
Why do people say unapologetic over crap that people shouldn't apologize for? You know, those people who say, I'm unapologetically black. Does anybody ever ask you to apologize for that crap? I'm unapologetically anything. People generally just don't ask people to apologize. They don't. He's wealthy. He makes $500,000 a year, and he's unapologetic about. Who asked you to apologize? Like, sir, I'm gonna need you to apologize for all that money you make. I'm unapologetic. I'm sorry, I don't apologize. I think people just throw in words. Oh my gosh, she looks like that woman from oh crap. She looks like that woman from you see her a bunch of places. But she played one thing that comes to mind that she played on was The Shield. She played on that show, The Shield. Oh crap! If I could find her name, let me see. The Shield. All right, if I could find that chick's name, y'all, and y'all look her up. Y'all look her picture up. I'm not gonna put it up, but let me see the cast. Come on now. All right, not him, not him. CCH Pounder. She looks like CCH Pounder. A younger version, but she looks just like her. Holy crap. Okay, anyway, where was I? Lost my train of thought. Oh, dang! Y'all said it before I even looked it up. Oh, so yeah, so she really looked like her, CCH Pounder. Yeah, just saying. I lost my train of thought because, like, in this freeze frame, she looked just like her.
Amazing. It was everything I wanted. He was a perfect gentleman, kind, soft, yet extremely masculine, convenient, and I like that a lot, especially coming from a world or coming there and others try to come called the lazy titled for that they were able to fishing. This was a man who's an immigrant to this country, literally came on a boat at 15 years of age and worked hard to create his life. And that was so
All right, my bad. So not no, it wasn't fair use. So when y'all don't hit the like button enough, that happens. So yeah, hit the like button. When y'all don't hit the like button enough, over a prolonged period of time, stuff like that happens. But no, see, listen. When you're a whoremonger, when you are a procurer of hoes, one of the bad things about whoremongering, I'm sure, is that the women are hoes, meaning that they're used. They've been passed around. So a greater the greater value, the greatest value that a Trick John, whatever you want to call it, can get is from a first timer. This is her first day of being a hoe. It's unused. It's like a new car. It's unused. I mean, it's used for 3 years from the regular guys, but as far as in the life, it's unused by anybody else in the life. So of course, a John is going to value that much. He's going to give much value to that. And what she received is the enticement of it, of the new booty. So she received the seduction fee. That's what I'm going to call this. I'm going to call this the seduction fee. What does that mean? And this, trust me, this isn't me trying to discourage women from being 304s. If it's in you, it's in you. It's like Gatorade. If it's in you, then be that thing, right? This isn't me trying to stop women from doing that. But the real of it is you get that initial seed money. You get that new girl on the block money, and then of course you start to think like it's always going to be like this. And then it gets downer and downer and downer. And that's why she's here talking about that. She's talking about how the first guy set her up, set her expectations as a hoe. All right. Somebody said something. I'm going to address this. Oh, and StreamYard is working now. That's cool. So it says, but doesn't the same thing happen when women enter regular relationships? No, not the same thing, because you don't actually diminish in value the same way. Yes, a virgin to men are more valuable than non-virgins, but men are more prone, because it's not a transactional relationship, to keep this woman indefinitely. And a woman's sexual past really don't affect, I know guys say that it does, but it doesn't. You know, it doesn't affect her the same way to the next mate. Not as much as a hoe. Now, granted, over time it does. Well, actually, now I think about it, that statement doesn't really apply, because we're talking about transaction and how the transactions, diminish over time. With a regular relationship, there's no transactions. So, yeah. After a few years, your man is already tired of you sexually. Yes. And wants multiple women. We want multiple women day one. So why not do it with the rich man? I see no qualms with that logic. I see no fault in that logic, miss. You're right. We do get tired of having sex with you. Sometimes not even a few years, depending on how good it is and how tolerable you are. So why not do it with a rich man? Absolutely. You should do that. You should do that with a wealthy man. I see no fault in that logic. Now, to all the other women who are listening and have value other than their pussy, there is an extraordinary fault. There's an extraordinary fault in that logic. And that is because men get tired of you sexually, that is when all the other stuff that you offer, the non-sexual stuff, come into play. If you do not have non-sexual qualities that will sustain a relationship after a man is tired of having sex with you, then hoe. Then get the most value out of the only quality that you have. Shout out to Forrest Gump. This man had very few qualities in life. Unfortunate but true. Each and every single quality he had, he milked it. He could run. He milked that. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor, for is it called the Medal of Honor? Something like that. Yeah, I think it's the Medal of Honor. But the biggest medal that you can get. He got that medal because he ran. Okay. He got a scholarship because he ran. And then he found another quality, ping pong. So he started ping ponging and he became the international ping pong champion. You know, and then he took that money and started shrimping. So yeah, listen, if you have few qualities, if you're a woman of few qualities and not inept enough or not apt enough to get other qualities, then by all means, milk that quality. Because it's all you got. Your vagina is all you got, Laterio. So yeah, give it to the richest guys that's willing to take it. Absolutely. I see no fault in that logic. All right, moving on. Yeah. Yeah, she turned women into sugar babies with a cell phone, and but they're not really they're burnout sugar babies though. Okay, let's be clear. Well, I'm not going to tell that story. But I am going to tell y'all that I know how the sugar baby thing worked. Oh, wait a minute. That sounds bad. All right. Not that I'm against sugar babying or anything like that. Quite frankly, I can't afford it. So I have never been a sugar daddy to a woman because, again, I can't afford it. And not that I'm broke, but actual sugar babies cost money. The one that my run-in with the situation, and this was back like, let me see, this was about 20 years ago. So this was in the aughts. This was in the, this was in the 2000 aught 4 or 5. This was somewhere around then. She was considering a sugar baby. This guy offered to pay her, give her access to a car. The car wouldn't be in her name, but she would have access to the car. She lived in San Francisco. She would have access to a car. Her rent is $2,500. And her expenses, her cash allowance is an additional $2,500. That's $5,000 a month. For 12 months, that's $60,000 a year. That's how much it costs. So to you guys that make like 200K, you're not going to spend a third of that on a sugar baby. You're not. So sugar babies, that's how they get down. These women are not sugar babies. These are women who are giving it up and getting gifts from time to time as a result of giving it up. They want to be sugar babies, but they're not. And if they're not qualified, they're not hot enough. Quite frankly, they're not fantasies. So in the space of selling fantasy, what they are doing is they're selling convenience. Like, listen, I know I'm not the girl that you're fantasize about, but I am the girl that's here. And that's why they are at country clubs. Because basically they're saying, like, listen, you could either go to a sugar baby website and order you up a sugar baby, or I'm right here. Oh crap, I told this story. I told this story before. Oh crap, I be telling y'all too much. But yeah. So so that's my run-in. But anyway, somebody said sweet and low sugar babies. So that's what we're dealing with, and that's what they're encouraging these women to do. I mean, hey, Listen, if you don't have anything else but a vagina, then hoe with it. I'm Go for it. I mean, hoe with it. That's the smartest thing to do. I mean, you play into your assets. Me, um, I've been a nerd. I was born this way. I'm born and this is what I am. My whole life, and um, as such, there were certain things that I wouldn't be able to do that I perhaps wanted to do, but not really. These things included things like basketball. You know, I'm from an age where that song, if I could be like Mike, but I can't. So I played into the assets of what I can do. Yeah. So, um, you can't do anything else but suck penis. So do it. Be the best at it and get as much from it as you possibly can. No fault in that logic. These some lazy hoes out. None of them are getting paid, right? I mean, okay. Here's the funny thing. None of them are getting paid more than what they would get paid at a job. Now, they're not going to tell you this. So I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you this for them. They're not getting paid more than they would get paid as a waitress. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. My bad. Getting paid, right? Yeah. Well, what did I click? Hold on. Let me see. What's she talking about? Yes, I agree. But some women are okay with being 304 as long as they're getting paid, right? Okay. I mean, the market decides. It's not a right or wrong. The market decides. Oh, and then she goes on to say, especially women who have children to feed. Well, since the government pays you for having children, that's what welfare is. It's a pay per bay situation. It's a pay me for a baby situation. Most of the women who have children don't really, they're getting paid for sex that they already had and getting pregnant and stuff like that. So they don't really need to actually hoe. The thinking there is that they do have something else to contribute to society, and that is parenting skills. But because it's unsupervised parenting, they probably aren't very skilled at that. So, to be quite frank, I would much rather that they sold box. I would much, much rather that. It's all prostitution because women don't love unconditionally. Men pay either with their resource time, or looks, or demeanor, or physique, or something like that. But yeah, they it's just a different currency. You're right. They pay for whatever the man has. I agree. And sometimes it's an even exchange. Sometimes it isn't. I mean, sometimes an even exchange is that you are, the two of you are receiving the same currency. Meaning that he likes your time, your intelligence, your conversation and stuff like that, and you like his same thing. And even you like his sex, and she likes your sex. It's really, if the currency is the same, then those tend to be more natural situations, and they survive the test of time. Yeah. Okay, so your homegirl makes $12 in a brothel in Vegas. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, I know what you mean. There's a couple of things I want to I'll talk about with that. First of all, each tour. Now, why is this person on tour? Why is this person not just living in Vegas making that kind of money? Well, I'll tell you why she's on tour. Remember what I was saying before about a woman and how they all want the new girl? What she's doing is she's going away and then coming back so she could be the new girl over and over again. Now let's just say that she tours once every 3 months. Give her a chance to be the new girl, right? Then how much has she made? $48,000 a year. The same amount that they would call a man a broke ass nigga for. Now trust me, this amount is exaggerating because either you're lying or she's lying to you. This amount is exaggerating or she's hotter than the woman here. And quite frankly, she's hotter than you, if that's the case. But if you have a $12,000 a tour vagina, then go ahead and sell it. Go ahead and sell it. At the end of the year, you will have $48,000. In California, the minimum wage for food workers is now $20 an hour. So she could either flip burgers or flip vaginas. She chose to flip vaginas. Hey.
Her fault, and that was partially because he was averse to fighting and would say things like, oh, we're not people who fight. So I was getting brainwashed into not bringing up any concerns. Not that there were very, because we only spent a few hours a week together and we didn't really talk that much throughout the week. So the honeymoon phase lasted a pretty long time. He told me that he was not the guy for me since the beginning. Or actually, he told me that he was not the guy that I was going to end up with. He was the guy that was going to show me how a lady should be treated. He was going to give me the standards, the blueprint of how every man should treat me, talk to me, and be with me going forward. And he did just that. I'm gonna give him credit for that. Because of how much I started to fall in love with him, I would look for him in every date I went on. So during this relationship, this was a situationship. It was actually a relationship. We were never officially together. So I was going on dates with other men at the time. I started to look for him in every man that I went on a date with. They stood no chance. I would write men off who did not open the door, who did not offer to pick me up, or who did not offer to fill up my gas tank, which were things that he did unprovoked before I even knew that this was a way to be treated. Like this was the way that I
Fill up my gas tank. What's up with that? Is he not driving? I mean, are you taking your car? Like, what do you mean fill up your gas tank? I'm trying to picture a situation like that is a very weird ask. Because either you're picking up these guys, which means that he's carless. And it's like, why are you a sugar baby while dating carless guys? Or you guys meet at the spot, like, hey, let's meet at the Cheesecake Factory. So you drive and he drive. And then at the end of the night, he picks up the check. And then you say something like, yeah, so about that gas. Now, gas in California is about $5 a gallon. A little more. I don't think that you guys are dating a gallon away. You're not dating a gallon away, meaning that it's not going to take 2 gallons for you to get to the date. So then at that point, it's like, you're bothering me for $5, 10 at the most. Something is weird about that.
Like to be treated. So I was going on dates while with him throughout that year of being with him because we were not technically in a relationship. I truly wanted to find my person. Like I truly wanted to find my partner. And I didn't realize that I was going about it the wrong way, playing the field. So I became a serial dater, looking for commitment, but not really. I tried to convince myself and everyone around me that I was looking for something real, but my actions did not show that. Two things cannot occupy the same space. 2 plugs cannot fill the same hole. While I knew that fundamentally, I was not acting on it. I thought I could separate myself and go on dates with guys and then calling him after the date and going over to his house. And I thought that would work. Obviously, that was a fail. I kept finding things wrong with these men. And being that I was operating from an emotionally unavailable state, that's exactly what I was attracting. I was accepting dates from anyone who met the bare minimum requirements of making good money, being relatively intelligent, and just being an adult in general, meaning having a nice...
I don't, okay, I'm not going to play this whole thing because it seems like she's going from like millionaires to regulars for whatever reason. I mean, she's saying that this is the problem with the lifestyle, but it seems like you had these problems before. You're an extraordinarily ditzy broad. And these problems had its manifestation prior to this. Good point. Somebody said that, thank you, Eli. It says she got turned out by a simp trick. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is difficult for a woman to go to regular after something like that happens. You know, like imagine, we live in the Renaissance days, the old-timey days. And, a prince invites you to the palace, if only for one night. Well, now everything is different. Now it's hard to sleep on that bed that's made out of straw. That's just a piece of cloth that you stuff with straw. Now it's difficult to, it's hard for them, even if they only experience it for a short period of time. It is difficult for them to interact with their peasant husband after, spending the night with the king. It is. So, yeah, I definitely understand that that's what she went through. But if she went back to the palace, the guards would kick her out. So that's just what it is. Okay, what else y'all got? I'm gonna read some of these before I get out of here. Let me stop the screen share. Should probably get some mean time. I don't know. I mean, I like full lips, but more for kissing. I haven't really felt. Y'all know what I mean by felt. I haven't really felt much of a difference, or at least maybe I'm too enthralled in the moment to pay attention or to to look for a correlation. But I haven't felt the difference between full lips and quality head. But I'm wired different in that regard. So, teach us on. Still making why? Okay. Why are you trying to sell? Okay, pay attention. Pay attention to what this Laterio chick is doing. Because she's trying to sell whole lifestyle to men. Now, stop and think about why somebody would do something like that. Why are you trying to convince us to become gigolos or something? Like, you come in a room full of men saying that women should sell box. And then when we say, okay, yeah, go ahead, sell it. You're like, yeah, because they should really sell box. But you see, here's the thing. She's not trying to sell the concept of, she's not trying to get women here, the few that are here, to sell their box. She's trying to get men into a scarcity mindset. Not so scarce to where they actually go out and buy box, but so scarce as to where they hoard women who are not selling box. That's the real rub here. That's what she's trying to convince y'all to do. They want a world where all the women are selling box, so the women who are not selling box are at a premium, and you shouldn't pump and dump them. You shouldn't, you need to stick together with. She's trying to sell that concept. But here's the thing: even amongst men who are not players, who don't buy box, who don't participate in that lifestyle, and a whole sexual exchange lifestyle. Even amongst those men, guess what? They still have requirements other than not being a hoe. And that's what bothers you. Men require more from women than not being a hoe. And the quite frankly, the only two things, it's very Boolean thinking. It's very either or thinking. To think that a woman is either a hoe or she's a woman of quality to every man who's not seeking hoes is extraordinarily short-sighted, which shows a lack of ability to see value in women, to see non-sexual value in women. And an inability to do that is really going to wane on your capability of developing these qualities for yourself. Okay. Well, there you have it. There you have it. Nor we you. If you want to sell it, sell it. Of course, and then at that point, you would have to care what we do because we would be the ones buying it. But yeah, if you want to sell it, sell it. I see. I don't know. From when you first brought up, your friend and a woman might as well sell it, and we was like, okay, it should have been the end of that, but it's not. So why are we continuing with this conversation? It's weird. And now we're hitting on something. Now we're hitting on something. Now we could talk about this. I think women are just tired of getting played. Okay. Thank you for finally opening up and being reasonably honest. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think women are just tired of being played. Guess what? I understand. I understand that you are tired of being played. I understand that we live in modern times of hookup culture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I do know that those who can play do. And because of, as I mentioned before, marketplace frustration is leading women onto the sprinkle path. I get that too. But there's nothing I can do about it. I know what you want me to do about it. And that is, you want me to tell men to not play women. I won't do that. I won't do that. Because then they are vulnerable to female players themselves. Sweetie, players are going to play. And men who are not players sometimes play when the opportunity presents itself. Now, that is a difficult thing to deal with. It's a harsh reality. And it makes you finding a permanent mate that much more difficult. But sweetie, sometimes things are difficult. And that's what modern Western women, I really wish that society has prepared y'all for that. How old are you? Because if you're like in your late 20s, early 30s, I could see why you are under this mentality, the way you think, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I really would understand it if you're in that age group. And because you're black, and this is what annoys me about a lot of black people. For those of you who are new here, hit the subscribe button. And for those of you who are also new here and probably don't know, I am black myself. But and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Here's one thing that annoys me about a lot of black people. And that is an expectation of things to be fair. They talk about revolution, 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 but really their revolution is them complaining to the people that they're revolting against that things aren't fair. Reparations, that'll make things fair. Affirmative action, that'll make things fair. Let's make it fair. Let's make it fair. Let's make it fair. Listen. Stop trying to get others to make things fair for you and just embrace the fact that it's not fair. It's not going to be fair. That's just the way it is. There's no protesting. There's no trying to convince people of influence to influence society to be fair. It's not. Sweetie, players exist. It's your job as a woman to separate those who are, okay, so you're 24. You know what that means that you're 24? It means you never lost shit. It means that you never lost shit. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you have this fucked up 24-year-old mentality. Here's what that means. It means that you go, when you was a kid, you went to soccer games, and whether you won or lost, you got a motherfucking trophy because they want it to be fair. And you got a whole bunch of trophies for not doing shit. It means that all your young life, people have been giving you shit. for the sake of fairness. Because they wanted to be fair. Like, rewards didn't go to the most talented or anything like that. It just went to everybody because that was fair. So they didn't prepare you for adulthood. And in adulthood, shit's not fair. You're going to date. Some of these guys may or may not be players. If you are lucky, the first guy you fall in love with is not a player. If you are unlucky, he is. If you're really unlucky, he's an actual pimp. Like, there's bears out there. There's lions and tigers and bears out there. You can either not go in the forest or go or proceed with the understanding that these obstacles exist. There are going to be obstacles in dating, mating, and relating. The fact that you think it should be so easy is really a sign of your generation. And once again, it's nothing you did. It's nothing you did. This is something that quite frankly, my generation did to your generation. Trying to make things fair did not prepare you for an unfair world. It is going to be that way, Laterio. It is going to be that way. So navigate through it. Navigate through it. That's my best advice. Like, yes, there. I'm glad you realized this at 24. You know, I know you realize this much younger that men like sex and they're going to play. Oh, God. I want you to think about this. Everybody, think about this, because this is what you are asking for. This is what you are asking for, Laterio. You're asking for a dating market without players. Which means that all the guys in your inbox is looking for the exact same thing that you're looking for. Do you know how easy dating would be for women if it was like that? The only difficulty you have in dating is that players exist, and you're on here because you're upset about that one difficulty. Life's not fair. Press 1 if you are the ugliest nigga in this chat room. Press 1 if you believe yourself to be the ugliest nigga in this chat room, because we're about to talk about fairness. Okay, nobody press 1, right? Okay, so y'all just assume that the next person is uglier than you. All right. So anyway, we're about to talk about fairness. Imagine being that dude that's just genetically unfortunate. Now, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't, he didn't spit on an ugly baby, or, he didn't do anything wrong in his life. He just so happens to look like Lil Wayne. He just so happened to look like Flavor Flav. And he's out on the town, and his best friend looks like Michael B. Jordan, and he's rich to boot, and he's trying to find love, but he can't. Is that fair? Sweetie, sometimes things are just unfair. And players is one of those obstacles that life didn't. Oh, finally, somebody press 1. All right. These guys, at least in the chat room. Appreciate you. So life isn't fair. Press 2 if you're the handsomest man in the chat room. Like, I mean, you know, then that person, listen, it's just not like that. That's a blind person how fair life is. Life is going to give you obstacles. Thank you. All right, Kevin Murray. Life is going to give you obstacles. And though childhood didn't prepare you for obstacles, they exist anyway. You deal with those obstacles. And if your way of dealing with these obstacles is selling pussy, then it really shows how unprepared for obstacles you are, quite frankly. Because what you're saying is the dating marketplace is difficult, so much so that and trust me, that's what all these sprinkle bitches are saying. The dating market is difficult, might as well sell some pussy. Because when I am met with adversity, the thing that I do to deal with adversity is just so off the wall. It means that you don't really deal with adversity. Oh, here's another good example. Good thing. Perfect. If women didn't friend zone good men, they would have this perfect world that they seek. Okay, so let's friend zone. That's not fair. That's not fair. Some guys get in the friend zone. What's it called? Alpha fucks, beta bucks? Like, is that fair? Is the 80-20 rule fair? Like, I mean, it's not going to be fair. Men deal with more unfair obstacles in the dating marketplace than women do. Which is just that players exist. Which means that men want what you have so much that they are looking to do unscrupulous things in order to get it. That's your complaint. When men like D. Scott are complaining that women don't want it at all. If her number one answer to life's problem is sell pussy, maybe she's just a hoe. That's all. Yeah. I would agree with that too. Because the truth of the matter is that you always have that at the back of your mind. And it presents itself whenever. You know, like the price of food went up just now. Like, oh crap, I guess I got to sell some pussy. Netflix increases its fees by $2. Got to sell some pussy. The electric bill is high, or the gas bill is high because of, you know, the abnormally cold winter. Got to sell some pussy. Yeah, you're right. If that is your go-to for problems, then you have pussy selling in you. It means that you are just one bad paycheck away from selling pussy. That you're right. Yeah, that's true, because life is full of ups and downs. So if your go-to for when life is down is to sell pussy, then you're destined to sell pussy because life is full of ups and downs. So yeah, you're right. You're on the precipice of selling pussy. You're on the precipice. Okay, so you press 1. That's cool. So, all right. So I think we covered everything. Let me get out of here. It's 2.5 hours in. These girls made their own money. These girls make their money selling this stream to other bitter women. Yeah, they do. And it's sad because it's sad to the audience because everybody goes through ups and downs in life, especially dating, mating, relating. Everybody is going to have ebbs and flows. They're going to have peaks and valleys. Now, when a woman is in her valley, that is when she listens to other women who are also in their valley. And then that's when they're recruited. But they're making permanent decisions for temporary problems. Getting played by a player is a temporary problem. That's something that happens. That's not something that, that's rightly avoidable. I mean, if you have avoided these things, then you're lucky. But and some women are. The first guy that they meet, they just hit it out the park with. Like there's peaks and valleys, and when you're at that valley and you're filled of hate, revenge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you have this woman who tells you that all your problems will be solved if you sell pussy. And you believed her. And my response to that is, sell it. Like, I mean, if that's your go-to, then even in a relationship, even if you're married, you're still one step away from selling pussy. Meaning that the relationship is unsustainable. And this goes to, I forget her name, but the 24-year-old chick. This goes to you. Until you are capable of dealing with adversity, then you're not ready for a serious relationship. You're not. Because relationships are adverse things. And I'm not talking about players and stuff. I'm talking about like with actual regular guys. You're going to go through adversity. And if you have extraordinary reactions to these adversities, then you're destined to be one of these chicks that say, I'm not happy. We're getting a divorce. If you're capable of breaking the glass, I mean, in case of emergency, break glass, and you just break the glass the moment somebody, turns on their cigarette lighter, then quite frankly, you're not qualified to break the glass. So there it is. All right. So let's see here. Why do you have a ski mask on? Well, hide your identity. That makes sense. All right. Let me read a couple more of these and then about to head out. It's sad because the last two didn't need any of this and would be happier without this sprinkler mess. So yeah. They're exchanging pseudo happiness for happiness. And really, this is largely on some revenge shit. But yeah, I agree. But once again, when you're at your bottom, see, it's like a drug dealer. It's like a drug dealer. A person, you just confide in somebody like, like dun 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 dun, my woman just left me, dun 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 dun, and I'm feeling real bad, dun 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 dun, my dog just bit me, dun 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 dun, and my motherfucking ass. And then that is when I am clever. I need to write songs. That was a hit. I am going to record that, just like Light Skin song. I'm going to record that. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. So right when you're singing the blues, that's when the dude comes like, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. He comes when you're at your lowest, and then you make a permanent decision. At that point, you're making a permanent decision to be a crackhead at that point. And next thing you know, you're sucking his dick for $2. That is what you women are. Your sheraseven's $2 whores. Or excuse me, $12 whores. With that, I want to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats. If you are feeling generous and you'd like to hear shows like this, exclusive contents, then consider becoming a member. This is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Hit the like and subscribe button. Peace.